that the people I've seen in the United States and in Canada, because the film is a Canadian co-production and we shot a lot in Toronto, is impressive. That how many people, ordinary people who go out of their way for people in need they don't even know, year in and year out. It's particularly now where it's just so cold in the Midwest and in the Toronto area where we shot, is something that I think is worth making a film about and spending everybody's time on and the audience's time on.
We did meet a couple times to talk through the script, and that was helpful for me. I think I thought about it a little bit like I think about preparing for a stage part. You know, you want to feel like you're very familiar with that person before you step on screen. You can't like find it on the day. I had done a lot of research beforehand on women who are coming from abusive households for a part that I did in a stage play maybe 5 years ago. So I felt confident about my understanding, as limited as it can be, not having walked in those shoes. It was a really happy experience. It's a terrible experience for my character, but it was a really happy experience for me in terms of, you know, collaborating with this wonderful person.
They say that prejudice doesn't survive proximity. People get along. Famously, as is extremely now the case, politicians attempt to separate us in order for self-advancement and for nothing else. It's not even ideology. It's simply mechanics. Therefore, groups of people are persuaded to take positions against one another. People, they get along fine, and there's a long history of people of different religions, different backgrounds, different class, different race, getting along just fine until they're manipulated in that way. And there are routinely acts of tenderness all over the world taking place for no personal gain, simply because that's a basic human instinct. And I think it's marvelous that there's a film that celebrates that. That shut you up, didn't it?
And I also feel obliged to do something and make a film about something that I think is urgent now that I have 9 other films and a lot of television behind me to go and try and focus on something that is urgent.
I think she's a sensational human being and an absolutely fabulous filmmaker. If I had to go to work every day and it was with Lone Scherfig, I'd be entirely happy. This probably means I'll never work with her again. She is smarter than me, which is what you require from a director. And and the script, and as a writer, I adored the script when I read it. And it is perfectly placed in for this time, or any time, but it was obviously resonant for our current situation.
It's funny it's set in New York, because I think now more than ever is a time where we need an injection or some sort of focus on just purity of spirit. And I always have the best feelings about people generally, whether that's naive or ridiculous, I don't know, but so much of this world is so very honourable in its own way. And the world at the minute is watching agog at this New York tycoon who, you know, we've put so much focus on that we've created this sort of monster. And just to recontextualize, you know, what's really going on in the world, to remind ourselves that actually there's so much kindness, so much purity, a whole infrastructure of people across the planet who are doing things that organizations like Time's Up are investing in, who've been helping people for years and years and years. And to focus on that infrastructure that's already in place, and then to invest in it and to celebrate it, I think is really important at this time. So for me, that's what it meant.
What is great in this movie for me is the fact that we talk about reach out for people. So being a stranger, we're all a stranger to another person. And I think that if there's a message to take, is that whatever you've been through, whatever the anger you have in your heart or what, you got to help people when you can, because it makes you feel better and makes you being a better person. And I think we need this today. It's important to reach out for people. And that's what I felt when I read it. That's what I felt when I played it. And when I met all these great people here. So from my heart, that's what I think, and that's what I keep.
I look for, you know, without getting too heavy, but I'm sure everyone here is the same, is that, you know, you look in these, you can't discuss these matters without referring to the current climate, as they say. So I think all of us would say the same thing, which is we look for opportunities to do stuff that will, even broadly or to some degree, any degree, tip the balance, you know, in a good direction. And this is absolutely an opportunity to do that. So I'm thrilled to be a part of it. I truly am. I had a great time. I really did. I mean, I know they always say that. This is not PR. I had a great time. They were great. She was great. He was great. They were great. It was really, really great. Everything about it was up my alley. Thank you very much.